If we let China take advantage of us, shame on us. You know, what I've always enjoyed about China is the government has always said, we will do what's in China's best interest. We expect other countries to do the same. And anytime my American friends said, why did China do that? I said, because it's in their best interest. And if we let China take advantage of us, shame on us. But that's not China's problem. But the core point I'd like to close with is the US faces enormous challenges. 90% of them are self-inflicted. They have nothing to do with China. And by challenges, I'm talking about an ineffective government that is so polarized that on the $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill, not a single Republican voted for the bill. So clearly the political system is a major fundamental issue for the US. I mean, if you go back to Confucian values, the best and the brightest have always gone into government in China. In the US, they've gone into business. So if you think about it, the US has B students who totally disagree with each other and don't get anything done. China has A students who are all on the same team. My concern is if the US doesn't step up and deal with its own internal problems, that China will continue to be a scapegoat. Because rather than admit we couldn't get it done, it's easier to blame somebody else. But is that going to get in China's way? Not at all. The US has always been a dualistic society, as is most of the West. And by dualistic, I mean a bias towards finding good and bad, winners and losers, a zero-sum game mentality. That is baked deeply into the culture of the competitive American environment. China, as most Eastern countries, is focusing its culture very much on harmony and balance. Very different. The second difference has to do with worldview. The Chinese worldview has always very much been centered on how do we deliver prosperity for the Chinese people, and with relatively little involvement in terms of shaping and interfering in the rest of the world. And that goes back for many centuries. The US has adopted what I would call an exceptionalist point of view. The US, assumes that it is positioned, almost destined to be the global leader. So worldview is very different. I agree with Professor Sachs that the US view of exceptionalism is a very dated view and out of sync with the reality today, where it needs to instead to recognize China and respect China as a co-equal player globally.